Thank you, Rob, for that clarity on the financials. I know it's not the most exciting bit of material to go over, but I very much supported the additional detail that he provided here today, just so that everyone's clear on what's going on. The next part of the agenda is a report of the President and the Executive Director. So let me start summarizing very quickly. If you look starting on page 22 of your report, I covered a fair bit, as you can see, last year, my first year officially as President, and quite, as I mentioned in the report, quite overwhelming. There's a lot of areas and programs and meetings that the President can potentially get involved in. I was able and willing to invest the time in doing a lot of these things. So I certainly have learned a lot in my first year, both about tennis in Ontario in general, the competitive structure, working with Tennis Canada. All those were wonderful things, and we've made some real progress over the last year, and I hope to continue that into this year. I just wanted to highlight a couple of things off the report. First of all, it was great that we had such good response from the President's survey. And I had reported on some of those results as well at the President's Day last year. And we currently have that survey still available online. So in future publications, we will make sure everyone has the link to that, and feel free to ongoing complete that survey as either if you haven't done it in the past or you have input to provide. You can use that online survey to provide your feedback at any time, because that's very important. In terms of volunteers, again, we have a lot of different awards at the OTA level that we make sure that we present annually throughout the year, and we do have some later today. But the Ontario Sport Awards, I wanted to highlight that. That was held last April. And basically it does celebrate Ontario's finest athletes as well as the volunteers. And of course, Gus Morehart was the recipient of last year's award. I was there with my wife Kim and Gus, and it was a wonderful evening, dinner and recognition and lots of pictures, and it's much appreciated by the winners of this award. This year, I'm proud to say that Sharon Arnold has won this award. Where is Sharon? I haven't seen her here today. Give her a hand. There. Robin. Is it Robin? Yes. She's shy. Maybe she's shy or something. No, that's wonderful. And the award ceremony is this coming Thursday, and I'll be there to celebrate along with her. But that's fantastic. Did you know she's been involved in tennis for 55 years? Whoa. That's older than me. That's amazing. But she looks not a day over 25. I'm telling you, and that's the key to youth, Sharon. Just keep active all the time. So that's a wonderful accomplishment. She was a DSA winner, what, six or 8 years ago. With the OTA, and she won didn't you win a coaching award earlier this year too, or something? I don't know. She's won so many awards. It's just fantastic. I'm embarrassing her. Sorry, but that's a real. I'm so happy to be able to announce that she won this award. And as I say, that dinner this Thursday will be great. Jim will talk more about, we have our DSA winners from last year. Jimmy, Meg, and Betty, that was a wonderful evening. And again, these volunteers always appreciate that. So that's a wonderful recognition that we have been holding annually for quite some time, and will continue to do that. I'd like to also mention two board individuals that are officially stepping down this year. We have Adrian Baldeo, who has been the chair of Tennis Toronto for the last 12 years. He was actually on the committee for 15 years. But there's a dedication if I've ever seen one in terms of supporting the clubs and the community and that sort of thing. We have a special recognition later for him, as well as Steve Andrews president of North York Tennis Association for the last 4 years, and of course the regional chair sitting on our board. Again, wonderful individuals. They've done such a service for all of us tennis in their community in Ontario. So again, big applause for both of those individuals. Another thing I'd like to mention, Jim may mention it too, but Jim and I, we over the last year or so, we spent a lot of time in the Ottawa market. It's been a tough market to crack, say the least. And we've done a lot of promotion of tennis out there when we were out in August for the Ontario Open, etc. The history of them in the past is they've never really wanted to link into the OTA. They've been happy on their own. They have some wonderful programs there, but we felt that this was the year that we really needed to promote them to join the provincial organization, and we've done some. We've had some great success, and again, kudos to Jim for putting the effort and the time to spend with the members out there. And I'm going to let him talk about some of the successes that we've had with clubs in Ottawa, but it's going very well. I think we're going to pick up another dozen or so clubs from that region this year. It means a lot of work from this office, but that's okay, because I think once they step into the association, they will see the benefits coming their way. So that's a great milestone, as well as the North York Tennis Association. I think we have another, 9 clubs that are coming on board, which will basically make it the same, similar to STF, where we have a complete, all the clubs in the region as part of the provincial association, and it's great to get their support, and they will continue on with their programs in the future. So that's good news. And my last comment has to do with governance bylaws. This has started back when Michelle was president, Michelle Lecavalier, really focusing on governance, because that's one of the key responsibilities of any board. Especially in a nonprofit organization. We are constantly looking at those from a board perspective, adding new policies, procedures where we can, and upgrading the bylaws. So we do have a couple of motions shortly here that will, again, further progress the improvement of those bylaws. And we always have a task every year where we look at policies, where we have gaps, and what new ones we need to bring on board to really make that solid. So that's something that I'm a supporter of myself, and make sure that we have the right focus there. And that's the rest you can read on your own. But again, I do want to put forward a special thank to Jim Boyce and Michelle Lecavalier, because they've guided me certainly over the last few years, but in particular this last year, making sure that again, I've getting involved in the right things. Their guidance has been absolutely wonderful, and I consider them good friends. So I appreciate their help throughout this. So give them a round of applause too. And now I'll ask Jim to come up for his report.
Thanks, Scott. I have nothing to report. You stole all my thunder. So now I have to make something up. Before we start, I just want to show you this quick, hold on a sec. I need the speaker, the microphone, please. Kim? Thanks. It's, do you know which one you turn up?
Yeah.
Which one?
Just one or both?
No, just one, but which one? Doesn't matter. Okay, we got a special presentation here for you, but high-tech as we are, we have to do it this way so you can actually hear what he's saying.
I was very fortunate in the sense that there was pretty much a tournament every weekend. I was playing most weekends, and Ontario was pretty big, and there was a lot of tournaments around. I remember me and my father, quite often we would drive to Niagara in the morning, play 1 or 2 matches, and drive back at night and do the same thing the next day if I was still in it. So I was very fortunate in that sense that there was a great foundation there, and obviously I went a few times with the OTA support team to nationals, and it has the right structure behind it, and it provides us with enough competition that we can learn. And it's on the right path, and I was fortunate to have it there pretty much every weekend that I needed it.
Okay, you can stop. Thanks. That's one of our bigger supporters. Thought I'd start with that. I sent my marketing gang down, as you noticed, with a microphone with our logo on it, and we cornered them and made them say that. We didn't have to pay them anything, which was great. But Milos has, in the past, like he started out with us. First of all, he was one of the first kids that was on our, used our dynamic ranking system on our website. And I think I've mentioned to this group before, at the age of 12, he played 85 matches. So our job as an organization in the competitive side is to just provide the environment for somebody to play. He took advantage of it. He's a talented guy, but you see what happened. He took advantage. He played all these tournaments. So anyway, I thought I'd have him tell you about us before I begin. And Scott's mentioned a number of things, and I will elaborate on some of them. But I also have a special announcement today. We negotiated a deal last year with this friend of mine, my doubles partner from time to time. I'll announce that after I've finished the key achievements. We did a new ball deal last year with our friends from Wilson. I think that Doug and Blair are here. Thank you very much, guys. Can I have a round of applause for Wilson? And also a racket deal with Head, Tammy. And as Scott mentioned, the club retention and recruitment program, it's been a focus for us probably going back 5 years ago. And we got, I guess in a sense, if you keep at it, you get lucky. We got lucky. We ended up last year, and in the beginning of this year, we will have a total of 23 new clubs, 14 from Ottawa and 9 from the NYTA. So that will grow us substantially. In addition, we've also recruited a number of other clubs that have rejoined the organization. Tennis Matters fundraising and government grants was another one of our key achievements. We're continuously looking for ways to raise funds for player development, for the development of the future Miloshes from this province. And government grants, last year was the first year that we had Jolene Joseph. We hired her specifically to write grants. And well, she does a few other things too. But on the grant writing, she wrote the first grant. I've usually written the grants. And the ministry came back and said, that's the best grant we've ever seen. So it made me feel great that I'd hired her, but it made me feel bad that she could write them better than me. Our OTA player results on the national and international stage, I don't need to mention those. They're huge right now. You look at the Davis Cup team from last weekend, 3 of the 4 members are OTA guys. Our Pathways in Schools outreach programs, it's something I'm going to speak to today when we talk about attracting and retaining club members. We have 2 outreach programs, the Pathways and Dave Lee's Progressive Schools program. Every year these guys are out on the road. You've seen the vans. And they go into the schools and they recruit kids to try the game of tennis. And what we do is we funnel them from those schools into the surrounding community clubs who participate. So any community club that's located near a school, if you want to help build your membership, please call either guy and they'll work out an arrangement with you whereby when they go into the school, your pro or a volunteer from the club can accompany them with a pamphlet or a clinic form or something that encourages the child to take that home to their parents so that they come to your club. The program does work. And then we have the Distinguished Service Awards. Right now, I think I wrote it down here, we have 26 people in this, 26 members of the DSA. Last year we had Jimmy Wong, Meg Fletcher and Betty Webster. And you can read their bios. It's in my report. These people were outstanding volunteers over an enormous amount of time. I mean, Jimmy Wong, every year when the Rogers Cup is on, bakes us a Tupperware thing that's as big as this, as high as that, with rice for the staff. And he delivers it to us and we eat for like 3 weeks. Rice. Great. Now what I want to do is I want to introduce a gentleman, and you have the posters on your tables. It's this poster right here. We were fortunate enough that we've had this, my doubles partner, young doubles partner, he's a few years older than me. He is the biggest tennis fan we have in Ontario, who cares about kids and cares about tennis in Canada. If you were watching the Davis Cup last week and you heard this huge Bellios yell, it was him. I'd like Murray Rubin to please stand up and be acknowledged. Murray Rubin has generously donated, over a 5-year period of time, $115,000, of which, see if my math is right, $23,000, $20,000 a year will go, as indicated by the program, to the winner and the runner-up of a tournament called the Champions Tournament that's going to be held here at the COE and in the bubble in November. Any club who is an OTA member, who has a boy or a girl who turns 9 this year, is eligible to play in a regional playdown. The regions will then declare a champion and a runner-up and a quarterfinalist, and we will host 2 events, a boys and a girls tournament here featuring 40 athletes. On that weekend, we'll also be hosting a fundraising dinner at the cricket club for 200 people. They're not directly related. We just thought we'd do the fundraising on the same weekend we were doing the tournament. Everybody's welcome for a fee. All the money goes to player development in Ontario to help support kids that can't afford to get on the circuit and to help fund our Team Ontario travel expenses. Most people don't realize that our athletes are so good that a lot of times they're playing in 2 age groups. And especially in the winter, they have to fly. For instance, the under 12 national indoors is at Calgary or Vancouver, and the under 14 is in Calgary. So if you have reversed, but if you have 2 kids in each age group, okay, if you have 1 son or 1 daughter that plays 2 age groups, that is enormous. The money will go. I lost track of here. Anyway, I want to get back to the Champions. The Champions program will give the runner-up $4,000 over a 2-year period to receive coaching from their coach. The winner gets $6,000 over 2 years, and so it runs every year for 5 years. Murray has committed that amount of money. He's asked for nothing. I had to coax him here to give him recognition. His wife is upset at me for doing it, but I think that anybody that's prepared to donate that kind of money to help under 9 athletes deserves to be recognized. We've never had a donor like this in our existence. So Murray, again, thank you very much. He's available to sign autographs later on. Okay, that's it for my report. Scott gave me 5 minutes. I think I took 15. Are there any quick questions on my report? Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, could I have a motion to receive the reports of the President and the Executive Director as presented? We have Steve Cheeseman, Tindega, and seconded by Ken. So Ken, thank you for that. All those in favor? Okay, any opposed? None. Okay, carried. Thank you very much for that. Next item on the agenda is the election of officers and directors. So I would ask Michelle Lecavalier, Chair of our nominating committee, to propose the slate of officers and directors for 2013.
Do I need to be wired?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Scott. Well, it's nice to be up here again. Great to see so many people here today. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate your support, and we're doing whatever we can to support you at your clubs. Now, for the Board of Directors for next year. This is actually going to be in two parts. The first part is the election of officers. You will find it in your manual on page 32. The nominations are as follows. Scott Fraser, you're in your second year, aren't you? So you don't need to be elected technically. It's a 2-year term for president, but the vice presidents need to be elected. So past president again, I serve at the pleasure of the board, and when Scott becomes past president, I will move on. So we don't have to worry about that. So Vice President, Finance and Administration, Rob Nichols. Vice President, Membership and Regional Development, Liz Wood. Vice President, Player Development, Simon Bartram. And Vice President, Marketing and Communications, Jackie Sheehy. May I have a motion, please, to approve this slate of officers? Ron Morrow Grimsby. Todd Archibald. Thank you. All in favor? Contrary minded. I heard Tony Ames use that once at a Tennis Canada meeting. Opposed. Sorry. That motion is carried. The second part is simply confirming the regional chairs for their position on the board. They are elected by the regions, and then they are brought onto the board. So to confirm their appointment to the board, East Region, Dale Roberts. NCTA, National Capital Tennis Region, Ottawa, Sean Sweeney. NYTA, Diane Crixunis, I hope I said that right. North Central Region, Sid Schechter. North Region, Miro Ejim. Scarborough Tennis Federation, Diane Weatherby. Southwest Region, Wayne Sajan. Tennis Toronto, Alan McGuire. And West Central Region, Giulio DeCressy. Motion to appoint these people to the board, please. Thank you.
Jane Wheeler, Barrie Community.
Jane Wheeler, Barrie Community Tennis Club. Seconder, Rita Lee, Thorncliffe. Leaside, pardon me. Rita Lee from Leaside. All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. I would also like to add my personal thank you to Steve Andrews and Adrian Baldeo for the excellent work they've done and for their support over the term that I was president. One other thing, since I'm here and I've got the microphone. I know, no.
Here we go.
The other thing that I'm responsible for, I chair the DSA nominations, Distinguished Service Award. We had some wonderful people last year and the last few years. I urge you, ladies and gentlemen, to take a look at the people who have been the heart and soul of your local tennis clubs and nominate them for DSAs. You go on the OTA website, under Membership and Regional Development, I believe you will see Distinguished Service Awards, and the nomination form is there. Please get that in, preferably by the end of the month, but by the latest May. Those people are out there. You and I know how hard they've worked. They deserve this level of recognition. Thank you.
Congratulations, John.
Thank you, Michelle. And I'd just like to acknowledge the two of the new chairs that are part of our board, Diane Crixunis and Alan McGuire. So again, welcome officially now to the board of the OTA and chair of your respective regions. Next on the agenda is the OTA bylaw changes. So I'd like to first call upon our VP of Player Development, Simon Bartram to propose the first motion.
Okay. Perfect. Good morning, everybody. This is where the meeting really picks up. Bylaw changes. Just a little bit of a background. Michelle Lecavalier 2 years ago started off a campaign where we need to kind of look at our bylaws and try to update them and get them up to speed. And today we have two motions put forth. The first one in this to do with competitive structure. The bylaws currently as written basically have a lot of information in them that are not really indicative of ultimately how we do our business. So that's why we're tackling this. The OTA has a competitive structure, as Jim alluded to, which is significant. It's the largest competitive structure in the country, and there's only 4 U.S. states that actually have a bigger competitive structure than we have. So it's significant, and it produces a lot of great competition, a lot of great players that have been able to take advantage of that and improve their skills. What we need to do is try to make sure our bylaws ultimately reflect the right thing. We have what's known as the Code of Conduct. Those of you who have participated in events and competitions would know about the Code of Conduct, and in it actually has a working document that we use that takes care of disciplinary issues, takes care of competitive structure, rankings, and so forth. That's really what we use in this day and age with respect to administering that competitive structure. So in front of you, you have a motion, and I don't want to go into too much detail about it, but it's pretty self-explanatory, and the motion is to amend those bylaws. So based on that kind of background, is there any questions or concerns you have regarding that before we maybe put a motion forward? Either everybody read it so thoroughly and so convinced that it's been so well done, or everyone has no idea because it's bylaw talking time.
I move for acceptance.
To get me off here, so we have to do bylaws. Okay, so a motion over here, Mr. Cheeseman from Tyndagga, and seconder?
Andrew Coquel.
Andrew from Alliston, seconds. Approval? Okay, and contrary, as Michelle would say? Any contrary? None? Perfect. Thank you very much for your time, everybody.
Thank you, Simon. Now I'll ask our VP of Membership and Regional Development, Liz Wood, to come forward and propose the second of the two motions.
Thanks very much. It's a bit of a maze to get out of there. There's a lot of cords and stuff back there, so I'm glad I didn't trip. Are you all still awake? Because I know bylaws are sort of a yawner, but they're very important in that we feel that periodically it's necessary to review and update standing bylaws, and I urge all of you with your clubs to take a look at yours as well. To this end, we found it necessary to add and flesh out in a couple of areas to better cover a number of situations for the regional chairs. And first of all, Section 8 is standing committees. And we felt that the current bylaw did not cover the situation adequately, and when there are other committees of the board need to be formed. So you've got it in front of you, and it's in your package. You've all read it and memorized it and done all that. Are there any questions regarding standing committees? Then may I have a motion to approve this?
You can do one motion for the whole thing.
Oh, okay. I'm going to do one motion for all of them. Okay. The other bylaw that we have to change or that we want to review is Section 9 for regions and regional committees. This section was fleshed out to give regional chairs an opportunity to prepare for his or her annual meeting and to tighten up voting procedures and timelines. In the past, we had no timelines, and a candidate could come forward at any time. Are there any questions regarding either of these two bylaw changes? May I have a motion then to approve this amendment? Thank you. Sissy Wang Agincourt. And a seconder, please. Thank you, Ron Morrow Grimsby. All in favor, wave your green card. Opposed? Thank you very much.
Well, I'm happy to say we're at the end of the official business of the AGM. So this motion doesn't require a seconder. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Andrew Coquel from Alliston. Thank you, Andrew, for that.